I have my idealist side and I have my realist side. The idealist side is looking at the compass and seeing where it is that where do we want to be? Where do we want to be 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 500 years from now? And then the realist side is, how do we get there?
Grows a strong tree.
How do we take steps towards getting there?
Yes, young roots grow a strong tree.
My son inspires me, and just to remember that it's not about just what I want and what I want in my life, but it's about the next generation and what they're gonna need on the planet, and what they're gonna see and what they're gonna eat, what they're gonna drink, where they're gonna sleep, and just got to remember that each day it's about them, and so that's what really inspires me.
Every seed planted starts with young roots. You nourish it will grow to bear the sweetest fruits.
All our ancestry has come from this space of providing for each other, being together in that way. So for me, as a musician and a farmer, they kind of go hand in hand, and as my hands are in the earth, it's inspiring the songs as well. And vice versa, the songs inspire me to keep putting my hands in the earth. So I hope you guys feel that through the music as well. And I'm constantly inspired by my community and what everybody's doing around me, and the efforts of other farmers is always an inspiration, and it brings me great joy to come to farms and see how people do things.
'Cause that is where the heart is. Gather round, meet us at the fire.
What I look towards is, how do we create really conscious, holistic design with that land? And no matter what happens there, that's what I want there, is I want conscious, holistic design where we're recognizing the effects of our actions on our environment and on our community, and making choices in our design so that we're bettering our environment, we're bettering the soils, we're bettering the quality of our air, we're bettering the quality of our water.
Kupuna, yes, hand in hand, walk with Chikiki. Hand in hand, walk with Kupuna. Hand in hand, walk with Chikiki.
Support local farmers, support farmers markets, support small locally owned businesses.
Strong tree, foundation for community, yes.
It all ties back into agriculture, this like culture that we're living, that's tied to the land and tied to our community.
Yeah, young roots, next generation, strong tree.
And so for me, that ties into all my land practices. How do we harness that energy to get back to the soil and build the soil? How do we harness that energy and get back to our community? We're a nonprofit organization, and so we are a big focus on mentorship and education, looking at kind of birthing the next generation of farmers in Hawaii. And probably almost all of us here are familiar with the fact that almost all our food is imported. The greater our, the greater us, in living in Hawaii, about 90% of our food is imported to these islands. And we're at a big turning point right now that I actually believe that number's going down from what I could see, because that 90% is an old statistic now, hasn't been updated in a good number of years. And over the course of those years, I know that just a couple miles from here, a farmer's market has burst up with 100+ vendors and massive amounts of food going out into the community. And the farmer's market is actually birthing farmers. Also in that period of time, the Hawaii Farmers Union has birthed up and provided a lot of education and legislation and cooperation around agriculture.
Talking about your green roads for miles and miles.
What inspires in this movement of farming and the creative nature that comes forth, I feel, from it, as Pat touched upon, the keiki is so important, and like our community. So when I look around, like coming together as community is really what has been happening for centuries, right? We've been coming together and honoring each other, our purposes of providing what our unique gifts are, and offering something unique in that sense. And we're all blessed with unique skills and unique qualities that make us who we are.
We grow with miles and miles of green road. Oh yes, yeah, for a lifetime of smiles, grow with miles and miles of green roads. How do you take it home? And for a lifetime of smiles, we grow in miles and miles of green roads.
That song is a dedication to all the farmers out there and all the farms that are representing. That's what it's about, coming together, right? Supporting each other in community.